Okay. Okay, so let me give a brief background about myself. So myself, Ajinkya, and I am having around 23 years of experience into IT industry, and I'm associated with Radical as a trainer since last around 9 months. Okay, so I'll be a trainer. So we will be going through the DevSecOps training. So there are different topics to be covered during the training. So it will be like both like theoretical as well as practical practical sessions we'll be having. So initially, like we'll be covering certain background of the DevOps, and then we will start with the actual security integration in the DevOps pipeline, that is like a DevSecOps. So that normally we call it as shift left approach. Okay. So apart from that, like the components or the tools you will be learning during the trainings are like GitHub, mostly GitHub, and then we'll learn Sync as a tool, SonarQube. Okay, and other than that, from the standard point of view, we'll cover the OAuth standards. Okay, and it will be like kind of a practical, like practical demo, like from the enterprise when you go into the real world job, right? So what issues you will face and how to handle those, right? Apart from that, like if you are means you can plan any means you can plan any, like if you are giving any interviews or planning any job switch, right? So I will give you certain pinpointers, like where this particular like certain topics, or there will focus more, which may be asked during the interview, or you will face issues during your real, like when you are doing the job in this particular domain. Then other than that, so there are other security, like as Nikhil mentioned, he is working into security, or he has some experience in the security. So we'll cover most of the like secrets, how to handle secret when you are writing a pipeline code, okay, or the scripts, and how, like from the like sensitive information, how we should not expose it, and um, even from the compliances point of view. So all those things, like we will cover, like as like I hope you got the syllabus from the Radical team. So we'll go through each of the topic, and uh, accordingly, like we will focus on, like more kind of a practical than theory. But yeah, while I'm explaining you certain practical things, I'll explain you the concepts, or background of those, the importance of the schools and all those things. So that will be, yeah, the approach for this training. So you have any questions about the training, or any particular thing you want to know about?
Uh, Hi Ajinkya. How much coding will required for DevSecOps course?
So like uh, from the coding perspective, so DevOps or DevSecOps is mostly like configuration things. Okay, so coding is like mostly like if you're writing some bash script, or pipeline scripts. So that we have to follow the syntax of the particular, if we are using GitHub Action or Jenkins. So like if you are integrating some bash script into the Jenkins job or pipeline, that is only the coding part, like you will be using. And for certain, like when you're running some pipeline on a existing GitHub repo, so that GitHub repo I will give you, like you can clone some open source repo on which we will try out the pipeline. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So yeah.
Hello, Ajinkya.
Yeah.
Uh, the lecture will be online or offline?
You mean the lecture?
Like lecture is happening online or offline?
Yeah, so it will be online through the Radical Learning
Will
portal.
be online. Okay.
Yeah, it will be on the Zoom session, but you have to join through the Radical Learning portal, where you will
Okay.
get your own account credentials, and then you can log in. And this will be recorded, so you can refer back, like if you want to go back and listen to the training, or if you missed something, or revisit like the certain topic, then you can go through the recording on the learning portal.
Okay.
Yeah. So Radical has their own learning portal where you will be joining on the training, like the time we decide, and so accordingly we'll take the sessions online.
Okay, like kind of LMS.
Yeah, yes, yeah, LMS. Yeah.
And like I have a career gap. Then there is a like any chances of getting placement. So any guidance for that?
So that is not part of this, like training or this, but I will, I will, as I said, like if you are planning to give some interviews, like certain topics, or on certain topic, I will give you some interview, like questions or questionnaire, right?
Okay.
Based on certain topic where you will face interview questions from interviewer. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Okay.
normally if you need that uh, assistance in your job placement or resume, then you can discuss with Radical team. Yeah. So then we
Okay.
can
Okay.
look into it. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, See, I don't know about DevOps. So, in this course, I can learn from the scratch or what?
So see, means DevSecOps is actually about DevOps. Okay. So obviously, like DevOps, I will explain you certain concept initially, but we won't go in that deep. But I will
Okay.
give you a high level overview, because without that, you can't, you can't understand DevSecOps. So let me just show you one diagram. Okay. I will, like what DevOps look like, and so you will get to know, like. So this is a
Yes.
general, like, this is like standard, a workflow diagram for a standard pipeline. So you are able to see my screen?
Ah, yes.
Okay, yeah. So like we have a this GitHub repository, right? And let's say we have some container, we push it, like we create a branch and we make the commit and we create a pull request, right? So this is like this is using the GitHub. Okay. So there are, now we have also GitLab, but mostly we will focus on the GitHub, so that you don't get confused on multiple tools, right? So the main focus is like to understand the concept, and let's say one or two tools we will be covering on the DevOps thing. So this is like a standard flow diagram, right? Okay. So like once we commit, we'll create a pull request. So you see in the center there is a commit box, and once this pull request is created, once the pull request is approved by a colleagues or your team members, then there are we'll plan a release. Okay. So this release again, it will go through the like a build process. So on the right hand side, you see that is the main DevOps thing, like where you are building a particular artifact or a release, and then you are deploying it to a certain server, or to the client machine kind of thing, or on the different environment like dev, testing, or production environment. So on the right side is that thing is mainly the DevOps part, and this is the general where you are doing the git commit or git push. So this is a standard development workflow. On the right side, the yellow boxes you see, that is the main DevOps thing. So this is how a standard, like
Okay.
build process or the release process looks like. So the output or the main, the release, let's say if it is a Java, then it will be a var file, or if it is some other language, then it will be the binary files. That is called as artifact. So that release process, like the build or whatever pipeline we write, so we can refer it to Jenkins or GitHub Actions, right? So that are the CI/CD tools nowadays being used. Jenkins is very old. GitHub Actions is in last few years. So we'll focus on certain tools, and then I'll explain how to write the pipeline code, and then how to integrate the security related things within that pipeline code. Okay. So earlier, what was happening, like security was like some issues were coming after we are releasing to the production, right? So that this is after the DevOps, like a build process is completed, we are releasing, and certain security or something goes wrong, like some vulnerabilities, or like some credentials are being exposed to the end user, or like some um, networking firewalls or something are missed out. So those things will be like we are doing earlier in the development process, or like in the DevOps process. So that is known as shift left. So we are shifting the security thing on the left side instead of doing it later. So that is what DevSecOps is all about. And to do this, what tools are the right tools and which tool to use in which case, that is what all DevSecOps is about, and I will be guiding on you on that. So yeah, that is what we'll be covering in the training. You get it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah. So if no other question, then you can coordinate with the Radical team further, and we can plan the training accordingly. If we,
Okay. Okay.
okay, great. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.